Good morning, everybody. I am so glad to see you all here in this wonderful new location for the forum. I'm Nancy Register, and I am with Consumer Federation of America, and I lead the America Saves campaign. And on behalf of CFA, Aspen Institute's Initiative on Financial Security, the Credit Union National Association, the Investment Company Institute, the National Credit Foundation, and Pew Charitable Trusts, I want to welcome you to the National Savings Forum. So that was a mouthful, but we are all so delighted that you're here. This is the forum's 15th year. The first one was in November of 1999, and that original forum inaugurated America Saves' attempt to formally engage organizations of all kinds in creating a new social norm, one that values and supports saving as a key component of good financial management, especially for low to moderate income households. Over the early years, these forums routinely highlighted and discussed savings-related research, policy that supported and encouraged saving, and programs in addition to the America Saves campaign that facilitated LMI household savings. As the number of local Saves campaigns grew, it's now to over 65, by the way, and America Saves Weeks was launched in 2007, the forum became a venue to discuss the week, the diversity of organizations that were now interested in supporting savings for their constituents, and the strategies and activities that the local campaigns used to motivate and facilitate financial action. All this was very interesting and useful information. But today, the forum is marking a pivot to the former way that we used to discuss savings. So today's meeting marks a first and a return for the forum. For the first time, we are proud to have 5 organizations co-convening the forum. They bring a depth and breadth of experience, resources, and knowledge that expand the scope of the savings discussion that you see reflected in the program. And we are returning to a forum that explores aspects of saving we have learned, as have all of us, over the past decade that are critical to successful saving for LMI families. In the years ahead, we hope this forum will be that place for a growing number of participants and with co-conveners that work together to create a unique and important conversation about saving. So let's get started on this forum. First of all, I want to thank, and where's Anna Marie? I want to thank Anna Marie Lowry for making sure that we're all here and in the seats that we're supposed to be in and everything is ready. Anna Marie, thank you so much. I also want to remind everyone, if you didn't know, that we are videotaping all the sessions for this forum and for the keynote speech, and so the questions and discussion will also be a part of that recording. The agenda should be in your packet, so let's go over the agenda briefly. Not that there will be any changes to it necessarily, but I really do want to just review it with you now. And we have a terrific agenda. First, we'll hear from Steve Brobeck, who'll set the stage by talking about what guides America Saves and what we believe needs to be acknowledged and incorporated into the campaign as we work for better savings behavior in that space. Next, we'll have a panel of researchers and experts in behavior economics led by Travis Plunkett, who will talk not just about theory and well-known successes like automatic enrollment for 401k plans, but which behavioral theories have the most potential, or not, to succeed on a large scale in helping households to increase saving, and where traditional theory or a combination of traditional or behavioral approaches are more likely to succeed. And don't be afraid of that description. It's going to be a really wonderful panel, and it's not going to be theoretical at all. After a short break, isn't that right, guys, over there? Right. After a short break, we'll reconvene for a session led by Bill Myers that will focus on the benefits and burdens of different approaches to encouraging savings. This discussion will address increasing and creating viable business models with innovative savings products. And then in the discussion with the participants, we'll all try to tease out possible policy ideas from these scalable successes. Mark Pierce from the FDIC will be our keynote speaker at lunch, and I'm sure we're going to have a wonderful comments from him. And the day will conclude with a terrific panel moderated by Gigi Hyland that explores the role government agencies play in promoting and supporting successful savings from childhood to retirement. Government at all levels can play a critical role in fostering savings. These panels are all designed to create and provoke discussion and conversation, and you are a critical part of that process. So speak up and join the conversation. Now let me turn to the program for today. First up is Steve Brobeck, who is the Executive Director of the Consumer Federation of America. And before I continue, all of their bios are in your packet, so you will only get, I will be very brief in the introductions that I will do. And he is the founder of America Saves. He, as the Executive Director of CFA, he testifies before congressional committees and is interviewed by the national press. From 1990 to 1996, he served as a director on the Federal Reserve Board of Bank of Richmond.
Thanks so much, Nancy. Nancy asked me to summarize what I think we've learned in nearly 15 years of developing and growing America Saves. Given our time constraints, I thought one way to do this, apologies to David Letterman, was through a top 10 list. As you'll see, this list addresses issues that relate mainly, but not entirely, to the savings needs of low and moderate income Americans, opportunities for them to save, ways to motivate them to take advantage of the opportunities, and things we can do to effectively promote their savings. So here's my list of 10 things America Saves considers to be important. 1. Meeting emergency savings needs is vital. From our beginning, it has been far and away the most popular goal selected by those who pledged as American savers. This should not surprise us because, according to the Federal Reserve data, less than 2/5 of low and moderate income Americans, those in the bottom 2 income quintiles, even have a savings account, and FDIC data suggests only slightly higher levels. When people worry about paying for unexpected expenses, such as a car repair or a doctor's bill, they often think they cannot afford to save for longer-term goals, such as home ownership or retirement. But as our research has shown, even $500 in a savings account can ease this worry. 2, for a significant minority of these lower-income Americans, paying off consumer and mortgage debt is even more worrisome. That includes the millions who are renewing triple-digit payday loans, carrying at least several $1,000s of credit card debt, facing default on mortgage loans, or failing to make college or trade school loan payments. Repaying debt has been second to emergency savings as a goal of our American savers. Those worried about paying off debts will have trouble focusing on any savings goals, even building emergency savings. 3, the most accessible savings opportunities for low and moderate income Americans are at banks and credit unions. These financial institutions exist in every community in the country. About 4/5 of lower income Americans have a relationship with at least one of these institutions, and an increasing number of institutions, though not nearly enough, offer savings accounts that waive monthly fees if funds, usually as little as $25, are transferred monthly from checking or paychecks to savings. Even though most lower income Americans don't have a savings account, these traditional accounts still represent the most popular savings option for this income group. We've estimated that members of this group have about $13 billion on deposit in these accounts. 4, a principal reason lower-income Americans save so little at banks and credit unions is that these institutions do not effectively market their savings accounts. In my opinion, even when financial incentives are not offered, this marketing can make a difference. Most importantly, banks and credit unions should urge new and existing checking customers to open and maintain autosaves accounts. All of us know that the most effective way we save is by authorizing a savings method that involves little future effort on our part. Nearly all banks and credit unions, though they don't publicize this much, will on request agree to regularly and automatically transfer funds from checking or paychecks to savings. We think they should make a greater effort to publicize this service to their customers, and regulatory agencies should encourage them to do so. In fact, there are many things that regulators could be doing, ranging from recommending best practices to providing incentives to required account reporting that would persuade more financial institutions to effectively promote saving to low and moderate income customers. Public policy is important. 5, most low and moderate income consumers can save something. This has been well documented by research, and credit counseling agencies have shown that careful scrutiny of household budgets can usually find expenditures that are not absolutely necessary, so could be used for debt repayment or for savings. In America Saves, we suggest to financially strapped participants that they begin just by saving their loose change. And we have many examples of those who did, developed some confidence that they could save, and went on to save larger amounts. 6, a huge barrier to this personal saving is pessimism. That was the most striking finding of a series of focus group discussions we held among different lower income groups as we organized Cleveland Saves. To some, the idea of their accumulating $1,000 was as foreign as the idea of any of us accumulating $1 million. Of course, if individuals don't think they can save, they are much less likely to try. As a result, early on, we developed motivational workshops that sought to break down this pessimism and convince participants that they might be able to save. And we also incorporated motivating messages in our materials, including recently text messages to savers and a video to first-time workers. 7, we also learned that the research on the importance of financial planning made sense. This research has shown that those who plan, in general, save about twice as much as those who don't. In most cases, this planning does not involve working with the financial services professional. Just sitting down at the kitchen table and thinking specifically about one's spending, one's borrowing, and one's saving. In America Saves, we utilize this insight to require those enrolling or pledging to be savers to identify a savings goal and commit to saving a specified amount each month until that goal was met. 8, but we also knew at the start that the barriers to saving are not just financial or psychological. They are also cultural. In our society, hundreds of billions of dollars are spent to create demand for consumer products and facilitate the purchase of these products, which creates consumption-related social expectations that strongly influence behavior. Our response to this challenge was to begin creating a countervailing force of nonprofits, employers, educators, government groups, and financial institutions that would work together to promote and assist savings and try to change the value system. That is why we have helped organize local coalition efforts we call campaigns in many communities, and it is why in 2007 we began building a nationwide effort through America Saves Week with the American Savings Education Council that now involves more than 1,000 reporting organizations. However, we recognize that these efforts represent just a beginning in the huge struggle to convince millions of spenders that they should be savers. 9, we concluded it was important to think both small and big. Small means focusing on individuals and families to help them make positive, incremental changes in their financial well-being. Big means asking ourselves, how could we grow a campaign to expand well beyond the nearly 400,000 persons who have enrolled as savers or taken the Savings Pledge, to assist the tens of millions who need savings encouragement and savings assistance. Well, we are not naive about the magnitude of this challenge or about our chances of success, but that is our aspiration, and it inspires us, and we believe helps us to be more effective. And finally, and I think this will be controversial with some, we believe that for us to really have a chance to meet this societal challenge, it's essential that our society make personal savings, especially for non-savers, a much higher priority. And we really don't see how this can happen unless all of us in this room and many others around the country seeking to advance saving join together in support of a logical, understandable, and measurable national savings goal that could be embraced by political, business, and nonprofit leaders, and eventually most Americans. Now, that goal could range in ambition from every household having a savings account, to every household have a savings account and a retirement account, to every household saving a specified percentage of their income, or it could be something else. Less important, I believe, than the meaningfulness of the goal in and of itself is its potential to galvanize societal support for saving. This does not mean that we should abandon our current efforts, which all have worth, but it does mean that we should spend more time on a concerted effort to make personal saving a high national priority. If we were to succeed at all, our own current efforts would certainly be that much more successful. Thank you.